was this one time that I was playing Overwatch, and now this was a couple years ago. This was about 2022. And there was an enemy player that was just very, very obviously cheating, and it was extremely frustrating. And that guy was playing Sigma. So when we inevitably won, despite the fact that he was cheating, I told him to LIGMA. All bits aside, that did actually happen, and I believe Brennan was there to back me up. It was kind of sort of crazy. Welcome to LIGMA. This is the show where you, the viewer, can email the email address on the screen right now or in the description down below and get pretty much any one of your questions answered within reason. Still send it, and if it's not in reason, then I will just simply not answer. Today's question is one that a friend asked me, actually, in person, and I gave them an answer in person, but I was encouraged to think a little bit deeper about it and, ponder the question a bit. And a friend asked, how do I, meaning me, one Timmy Bug, watch so many movies? And follow-up question to that, how can they watch more movies? So, from a first, I just realized this isn't worded extremely confusingly. The question is, how do I watch more movies? How do I make the time to watch more movies? And so, I'm gonna kinda sorta address this in two parts. Part number one, literally just time-wise. How do I make the time to watch more movies? Because I personally prioritize movies, very, very heavily. I try my absolute darndest to see a minimum this year, actually. It's one of my New Year's resolutions, a minimum of 30 movies a month. And that's difficult. I am well aware that that is a large time commitment. So how do I personally do it? Well, there's two things. So one, obviously, movies being important to me is a main fact. If movies are not incredibly important to you, then I would not necessarily worry about padding out your Letterboxd stats, I would not necessarily worry about trying to get as many movies in, but maybe you just want to see a bunch more classics, or maybe you have a specific movie goal for 2026, something like, I almost said 2025, I'm stuck a year ago. Well, what I would say, I've thought about this a decent bit, but I haven't, obsessed over the question. I personally watch a lot of movies while I am tying fishing lures, and that is because I have gotten efficient enough when tying fishing lures to be able to not actually fully focus on the lures. I can basically pay 90% of my attention to the screen, is what I'm trying to say. And I still make quality lures. Now, some people would say that is, second screen entertainment. I don't personally agree with that. The majority of my attention is on the movie, whereas second screen entertainment is kind of sort of, that entertainment is the second screen. You're watching something while you're scrolling TikTok or whatnot. But with regards to you in your own personal life being able to watch more movies, I would first take a look at your screen time, and if you're unhappy with how much screen time you have, then I have a simple solution. A lot of your screen time is probably during free time that you could be spending energy on other things doing. I would personally recommend try and work in, a crisp 90-minute movie once per day, or maybe a 90-minute movie. Once per day is a little excessive. Every couple days, if you catch yourself doom scrolling, maybe, I'm not necessarily saying throw a movie on in the background as second screen entertainment. I'm saying, just pick a movie you hadn't seen in a while. It can be a rewatch, it doesn't matter. Pick a movie that you think will hold your attention and that will draw you in, and just watch that. Just have a blast watching that. Another way that I have personally found, if you haven't seen a movie in a while that you've enjoyed, is to watch a movie that you know for a fact that you love. Like, watch one of your top 4, assuming your top 4 is not extremely stressful watching. Just consider giving, like, say for example, one of my all-time favorite movies is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and it is a comfort movie, admittedly, but I can also think about the movie a whole lot deeper. And a couple months ago, I was in a pretty big slump. Like, I was in a definite movie watching slump. I was kind of in the mentality of, oh man, nothing looks good. Everything looks like, sloppy garbage second screen entertainment, which second screen entertainment is something I'm pretty passionate about, and that I do believe is greatly harming the industry as a whole. I agree that it, has a time and a place, but that's neither here nor there for now. That's a topic for another day. I personally like to just hit a little movie reset, Maybe you love the movie Ratatouille. Well, watch Ratatouille. Have a blast watching Ratatouille. And really, honestly, this is going to be a kind of funny blanket, blanket statement, but just watch Ratatouille. Even if you are not the most massive fan of it, it's a really, really good movie to pass time, because that movie makes time feel like it is flying by. That's another thing I would argue, is if you're kind of in a movie slump, watch a movie. Don't necessarily, this is not me saying don't ever try things new, but if you're watching a movie slump, and specifically if you're watching a lot of new movies, or movies that are new to you that you are not enjoying, then maybe just consider slapping on something that you like with excellent pacing. That is a big help to me personally when I've been in. There have been, weeks where I'm like, wow, the highest rated thing I've seen this week, I gave, 3 stars, and I've had weeks like that. It's been terrible. So that is how I would personally recommend you being able to see more movies, is to throw on something that you love, try and replace scrolling habits, especially doom scrolling. Try and replace doom scrolling habits with maybe watching a movie instead, and just try to, in your free time, if you feel bad about, oh man, I haven't really been super productive today or whatnot, then maybe throw on a movie or a TV show, preferably. Then maybe throw on a movie in the background. I am not necessarily a, second screen entertainment hater and denier, but I'm just saying, I think there's a time and a place, and that some movies are best enjoyed when you are giving 110% of your attention to the movie. So those are just my own personal thoughts, and sometimes it really, really helps me feel more productive to throw on something I know and I'm comfortable with as background noise for a task. I don't ever watch new movies at background noise, but occasionally if I'm like, I haven't seen that in a while, I'd like to watch it, I'll, occasionally throw something on while I'm folding laundry. Or basically replacing YouTube watching time has been the biggest thing for me to eliminate kind of that second screen entertainment viewing, which I try not to do as much as possible, and I try not to dwell on. And also, one other question that I kind of just wanted to answer, I kind of just wanted to address quickly, was how can I enjoy movies more? Because don't get me wrong, there have been major times. This kind of sort of ties back into my slump point that I made earlier, but we've all been there. We've all, said, oh man, there's nothing good on. There's nothing I really want to watch right now. Well, again, if you're in a slump, just throw something on that you're familiar with and that you like. Or if you are lacking for movie recommendations, if you want to know more about movies, just hear two people yap about movies, you can actually check out me and my friend's podcast. We started a podcast recently called No Bad Movie Takes, and we are going to start soon answering questions about movies there on that. So I think I covered pretty much everything I wanted to in this video. Do feel free to let me know if you think I missed something, if you think that there is a way to watch more movies or enjoy movies more that I missed. I would be greatly, greatly appreciative of your feedback. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you want to check out the other Ligma episodes, those are on the screen right now, as well as the email address where you can email any questions that you have. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll talk to y'all later.